The creative process at Northumbria for the master's students is split into two distinct phases, the problem setting and the problem solving phase. Problem setting is a process of ideation and is concerned with the students developing a thesis. The students are expected to research and critically reflect on the context within which they are working, and then develop a brief to solve social, environmental or economic problems in the region. At the end of the first phase, they are assessed as to how well they have conceptualized the research. The problem-solving phase is known also as the product phase, that requires the manipulation of space, light and form. The creative interplay is crucial in the development of an aesthetic product. The challenge for the student is to construct an architectural solution to a complex problem that embeds the concept to produce an object of beauty. The solution must be fit for purpose and importantly fulfills the brief. The ancient village of Newburn sits on the River Tyne. It is located 6 miles outside the city of Newcastle in the northeast of England. The settlement developed here due to produce being taken across the river. At this point it was shallow enough for carts to cross. The town continued to develop over the following centuries. The ancient church of St. Michael was built in 1067, just after the Norman conquest. This building became the focus of the community. For centuries, Newburn retained its idyllic charm, until in the 19th century coal was discovered by the industrialists in the areas surrounding the town. As a consequence, the town changed radically. This humble settlement, within a few decades, became world-renowned for its coal, steel and rail industries. As well as the coal, Newburn was also known for its clay, and since medieval times it has been a centre for brick production. The landscape is littered with industrial relics of this occupation, including one remaining brick kiln, of which there used to be several. This kiln was built in 1797, and it is one of the few remaining in the country of its type. Sketching is an activity that is essential to the way architects conceptualize design. All architects sketch throughout the design process, and it can be very useful as a way of rapidly testing design ideas, developing concepts, and exploring form. The student decides the features of the site that are important to record, and how best to use the chosen media to capture this information. Drawing is a vehicle that helps with reasoning. Spontaneous marks made during sketching start to record the designer's thinking. Often, out of initial sketches of the site, concepts can be formed. Rear sketches recorded the patterns in the landscape and the dynamic nature of the features that make up the scene. It is interesting that the initial sketches that Rhea produced regarding the site later informed some of the final output and design decisions of her project. The site is very important to the architect. At Northumbria, this is where all our projects begin. Every site should be considered as a unique environment, what Alto referred to as the constructed site, which has distinguishing marks and features, a history and memories. Rhea did an audit of the existing facilities within the National Park of Newburn as a way of developing a thesis project. She worked with the park ranger to establish potential opportunities. There remain a number of industrial relics within the park, and Rhea located them within a plan. At the site, Rhea drew an environmental analysis diagram that served as a record to refer to when back in the studio. This diagram shows the nature of the geography, the position of the sun, the nature of the ground, and the topology. Such a diagram immediately helps start the design process and develop concepts derived from the site. As well as the environmental diagram, Rhea made another drawing on site which illustrated how she could perhaps draw energy from renewable sources. At the beginning of a project, all this type of information needs to be recorded, and during the course of the design process. Depending upon the decisions made, an appropriate environmental strategy can be formed.